Hey guys, it's Danny Waiter here. This is a long time coming. Nothing crazy. This isn't like some life announcement or anything. It's just I've been reviewing the games that I've been streaming, and this may go on Facebook. I'm not sure. If it does go on Facebook, I want everyone to know that this is not trying to endorse my YouTube channel or me or anything. This is just if anyone thinks about wanting to play certain games or whatever, or even if people care what I think about a game, and if people think I'm wrong, then they can tell me. And this game is really dear to my heart. It's called Final Fantasy IX. I finished it, streaming it last year, right around Christmas time. I was really slow at beating it because I hate ending games because I hate the feeling of when a game ends. But yeah, I figured I would just, finish it. And so I'm finally doing the review. And for anyone that knows me, they know that I love Final Fantasy IX. I think it's one of the best Final Fantasies out there. And there's a lot of people that don't like Final Fantasy at all as a franchise. And that's fine. That's okay. This is not a video saying that Final Fantasy is like the best. It's my opinion, and that's where I'm gonna go with that. But anyway, let's just get into it. So I have this categorized as like and dislike. You can see on here. It don't have good penmanship, unfortunately, and then we also have Vegeta there. But okay, let's get into it. So the first was the aesthetic. So for the game, the colors were very, I guess you could say, vibrant. It was coming at the end of the lifespan of the PlayStation 1. So they pretty much maxed out what you could possibly do for animations and cutscenes and colors and whatnot. And it just, every area felt different. The themes of the colors fit with the different sections of the game. I think the character models looked great. The enemies, the bosses were great. In terms of aesthetics and whatnot. I think the weapons that once you equip them, you could see them in battle what they look like. Phenomenal. And I think overall the aesthetics of the game were pretty great. I'm going to go like and dislike, so, one after the other. A dislike I had is the trance system. So, if you're someone familiar with the Final Fantasy games, there's always some kind of system for what they would call limit breaks, right? So that's like special abilities, special powers that once you get to a certain point, you can do this thing that you can't normally do. And in this game, that really wasn't a thing. Like, you would get hit, you would build up energy, and boom, you would be able to do some type of strong attack. You could do, for some of the mages, you could do double attacks. For the blue mage, you could eat stuff sooner and learn stuff, and that's great. Problem is that you entered trance automatically. Once you build that up, it's not a, hey, let me choose when I want to, it just happened. So there'd be times that you would be saving it for a boss, and then it happens without you even knowing, and you can't do it. You can't stop it. And then if your character faints or dies, then you just lose it. You lose all that build up for the trance. Also, I just got out of the shower, so my hair might be a little crazy, so don't mind me. Let's go back to the likes. Tetramaster, that's the card game, the mini game in there. It's a part of the story, so you do have to kind of play it automatically to be able to progress through the story. Not necessarily, but anyway, I think this is one of the best card games, one of the best mini games in all the franchise, because I mean, the music is just great for it. Again, the aesthetic for it, how the cards look. The leveling up system for the cards is a little wonky, but other than that, I think it's great. There's a ranking system as well, so if you have like 20 cards, you're a beginner, and then you get like 100 cards and you're an expert or something. Like, it was really cool. Uh, the problem with Tetra Master is that you had a limit on cards. So let's say you had 100 total cards, right? But they were all spread out. It wasn't just you had one of each card. You had 100 cards. So like, let's say you had like 30 goblins, 20 of this, 10 of that, whatever, adds up to 100. The next card you get, and there are cards that you get one time, will just be discarded and gone. So I did not like that. I think that should not have been the case. I feel as though you should be able to have as many cards as you want, but your collector's rank shouldn't go up with how many cards you have. It should be unique cards. So I did have a problem with that. Music, I really liked it. Most places the music was great. I thought the music fit in most places. And I think for the protagonist, Zidane, I think the music for his like personal story fits him very well. The problem is that music, on the other hand, is something I disliked in multiple spots as well. I think there were tracks that they just didn't sound good, and they didn't fit the area. You know, like something needed to be suspenseful, and they had almost like a cheery music for it. And, you know, this is a PlayStation 1 game, but it comes from a very big franchise. So especially from Nobuo Uematsu, who is the music composer for most of the early Final Fantasies, you expect him to have a song that fits every situation. And even if you don't like a song, most of the time the songs fit in the area or where they're at. And it did not in this game for a lot of spots. So unfortunately, that's also a dislike. But back to likes, the Chocobo minigame. Oh my gosh, the hot and cold. It's going to sound weird for anyone that hasn't played the game, but you take this Chocobo, right, this big giant bird thing, and you basically have it take its beak and go kapoom, 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 digging for treasure. Believe it or not, it was awesome. There's a limit to how many times you can do it, like based where you're at in the game. But man, it's so fun to shove that bird's beak into the ground. Like I said, as bad as that sounds, like in game, their beaks are hard enough that's like them like putting their head in a pie and eating it, right? So it's nothing. And then their beaks get stronger as you do it. And you get these chocographs, which once you get them, this is why it's called hot and cold, because you try and find the location, because they give you an image and they say, hey, it could be over here. So you go to location and you start digging, and if you find the right spot, hot and cold, a treasure chest pops out. And you either get a bunch of items, weapons, armor, cards, or you upgrade your chocobo. And that system, I would honestly say that if someone wanted to just play for that and then not even beat the game, do it. I had on here dislike difficult movements, and I think that's the case with most PlayStation 1 games. PlayStation 1 was very clunky in general, right? Because it had polygons. It was very revolutionary for its time. It was the Super Nintendo, and then all of a sudden you had PlayStation, Nintendo 64. Like, it was crazy at that time. But still, the difficult movements, might get stuck on a wall, get stuck in a door. You accidentally use the joystick the wrong way, and boop, you go exit the screen, you go load, and you're in a different area, so you have to go back, but then you accidentally do it again. It just can get annoying. The story, though, the story is also, if you don't care about minigames, you don't have to do the Chocobo minigame, I believe. I believe that is fully, like, side quest, side story type of thing. But the story is definitely worth it. I think it's one of the better written stories in any RPG. I mean, you have a romance that's not too much. It's not too pushed. You have bro moments. You have girl moments. You have a lot of topics that are discussed, like heavy topics, but they're discussed in a healthy way, right? And they all support each other, and it's just a great story. Play it for yourself. Let's see, what is this? Fast-paced final boss switches. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I meant by that, but oh, this is what I meant. So you would have a boss, and then you would have another boss, but then you would have another boss, but then you would have another boss, and you never really got to stick with the same boss for a while. And of course, it's really just the main bosses or the specific boss of a disc or whatever. But it was so quick with, here's this boss, boom, they're not a threat anymore. Here's this boss, boom, they're not a threat. You know, most games have a decent scaling when it comes to bosses. Like, you talk about this boss, you walk around, do whatever, you level up, and then you finally fight the boss. This is like, you walk, you fight a boss. You walk, you fight a boss. Right. So I wish they would have slowed down a little bit with fighting bosses, and I wish they made some of the bosses just slightly more memorable. And I think the amount of bosses is what caused that to be like that. But on the other hand, I really liked all the characters because I thought they were all memorable. I mean, you have, I'm not going to spoil it, but like Zidane, I mean, you can't forget that guy. You have Vivi, can't forget that guy. Princess Garnet, you got her, she's great. And I won't get into all the other names, but all the characters have their own personalities. They all represent like completely different personalities, ways of thinking, different sins, different spiritual gifts. Like, it's crazy how in-depth the game is. But yet most people just see it for a surface level. But then when you dig deeper, you're like, whoa, there's got some layers to it. It's like an ogre or an onion. It has layers. And you just have to peel it back a little bit. Just a little bit. On top of that, for a dislike, it's too easy to miss things. So this is one of those games. Final Fantasy VIII also had a problem with this. I think Final Fantasy IX is even worse with it. I think there was way more things you could miss in 8. But with Final Fantasy IX, I think what was missable in a game that could have completely avoided making things missable. At least the way that it did. Right? And Final Fantasy in general has a little bad habit of making some things missable, and you don't even realize it's missable. This game kind of has that. You know, you walk into another screen, and all of a sudden you're locked out of whatever this thing was, and you don't even know until you look it up. So I think if there was a remake or something like that, they could fix that. I loved that there's so many things to do. I can't tell you how many times I played an RPG, and I'll love it. I'll love the story. I'll love the characters. And then there's nothing else to do except for the main quest. And I am someone that likes to have different options for games, right? So, for instance, Skyrim, love Skyrim. You have a plethora of options. And in this game, you got a lot of options. and it's great. There's not enough to do, right? And then once you do everything that you can up until the point that you're at in the game, you go to the next section, and you can do it all over again, and it's great. And then finally, another dislike. Hi, Rory. My dog, he went to his bed, and then now he's walking away. He's cute, though. Finally, I would say I think the bosses in the game are too easy. I think it's much more rewarding to have to... I mean, you don't even have to really plan for bosses. In this game, you're kind of broken throughout the whole game. If you wear the right equipment, and even if you accidentally do, so most people, instead of getting like abilities and stuff like that, which by the way, the abilities in the game, fantastic system as well. You technically level up your abilities by keeping the equipment that has the ability on, and then you acquire it by leveling it up. It's a really cool system, but you don't even have to do that for abilities. You don't even need abilities. In this game, you do enough damage physically that you could just keep adding the next equipment that's better, and you'll be fine. You will be perfectly fine, which is what people normally do. So I might dislike it, but someone who wants sort of an easy game, I think this game would be pretty good for them. With that, this went a little bit longer than I wanted. I had a lot of points to go through. I hope you guys understood it. I hope you guys consider playing Final Fantasy IX. And the score I give this game, and a couple of people might be surprised by this score, because it's my favorite, like out of the three at least, 7, 8, and 9, it might be my favorite, but I give it an 8.9. I think the music at different parts is just, that's tough. I love music. I think it brings things together. I think it sets the scene at different points. And if the music isn't there, then, it's just kind of whatever for that spot. It got docked for the limits on cards. I don't think there should ever be limits on cards in games. That's just... I can go buy 300 cards and I don't get capped out, right, in real life. And then the trance system, the fact that you can't be so overpowered, because the trance system is overpowered, but it activates when you don't want it to. And I don't like that we don't have control of that. So that's why it got knocked down. But still, amazing game. One of my favorite games. Like I said, 8.9. That's not a low score by any means. That doesn't make it a bad game. And, I recommend people that like RPGs. I recommend people play that. So, yeah, there's my review of Final Fantasy IX. I hope you guys have a good day. Keep God number one. And just be kind to someone. It doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter what the act is. If you can take one moment to be kind to someone, just do it. Love you guys. Bye.